Hey, how are you?
Oh,
Lame.
I'm great today. How are you?
Feeling super lame.
I feel lame yet elated at the same time.
Kind of elated.
There we go. Eliminated. We are eliminated people. I'm not sure why that would be. I mean, it just kind of feels, you know what I kind of feel like. Like, you ever eat like a nice bowl? Remember of like Golden Crisps or something?
I'm a cereal guy.
Yeah, like golden stuff. Anything golden, like you
I
ever
know you love golden showers, the whole thing.
uh golden. It's almost like.
Golden crisp, golden grams.
Well, sir, how are you?
Hey, Roy, what's going on? So we got Philly and we got Vegas.
Yes, I'm trying to adjust
And
my.
Snoop Doggy Dogg is on his way to me. But yeah, feeling gold, bro. Feeling gold. Had five of the puppies from this year in my hands. And I'll tell you I got some funny stories.
Yes, you were hated. You're still
I was
hated.
hated this week. I was hated this week because all right, how many people are watching? Is there enough people watching
Yeah, you
for me
may
to
go.
rant?
Yes, you may go.
Because I like to wait. I like to make sure that the people are here. People can hear me rant. Capitalism versus socialism versus communism. Now, this is a thing, I guess, that some people don't understand. I'm a capitalist. And being a capitalist, if I see an opportunity to make a profit, I'm going to do that. Now, here's what I'm going to do. See, this is the Philly belt right here. By the way, so the strap is different here. So you see in the Philly belt and the Snoop belt, you have a textured strap, and they're awesome. Now, I'm going to tell you a story.
Is it about a lovely lady who was
Here's
busy?
our Vegas belt, and I took two different paths to get these two different belts, and so it's very interesting. So last year, only 50 of the Philly belts were released online. You know how lucky you had to be to get them? Very. I happened to be perusing on WWE Shop at that very moment, and I see the gold belt up there. Didn't even know it was limit 50 at the time. I would have probably got two or three. See the gold belt there. I was like, shit, this looks awesome. Didn't even think about it. Like normally I would say, Mike, look at this belt. Joe, look at this belt. And I'd tell my friends.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody. I just grabbed it real quick. Don't know why. Don't know what told me to grab it. But I grabbed it. I checked out. I said, maybe I should get another one. I went back. It was gone. So within like 3 minutes, 50 of the gold belts were gone. Did not know how rare it was when I got it. Had no inkling. Nobody told me they're going to be online. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Got to WrestleMania 40 last year. Now, for the Snoop, you had to actually be in attendance. And I'm going to get back to the Snoop in a second. For the Vegas, I'm going to be honest with you. I have an insider in Fanatics. I knew exactly when it was coming online. Mike knew exactly, and we were the only two. We didn't even tell our closest friends, and I mean our best friend who we talk to every day. We didn't even tell him, just on the off chance he would let it slip. And so I didn't want 100 people on there at this particular time. I knew exactly when it was going to drop. It was going to be 10 a.m. on Monday, Eastern time. But before that, we didn't know. For a few weeks, we didn't know. We weren't hearing back from my guy. And Mike and I were going there every day and refreshing the page, refreshing the page. So finally, my insider texted me on, was it Wednesday maybe? And he's like, Monday, 10 a.m. And then a second insider texted me not 30 seconds later, Monday, 10 a.m. So two people texted me within 30 seconds or so. So I knew, all right, this is when it is. We can relax for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So I knew be there Monday, 10 a.m. So I said, what did I say to you? I said, I'm going to get 5 or 6 of them, right? And I said, we'll sell them. I'll sell them, right? We'll get them. I said, yours will be free. Mine will be free. And we'll sell the others and I'll make a little profit and what have you. And that's exactly what happened. So yours was free. Mine was free. We made some profit and that's cool. And I sold out. They're sold out. And so, yeah. So that's what happened with those belts. And so what I did is something called capitalism. Here's what I mean. Let's say, and what it cost? It cost like $5,000, right, to get them. right amount with tax and everything.
Yeah.
Somebody comes to you and you got the money. I want you to put yourself in the position you've got the money. You got $5,000 sitting around, and you know that if you invest this $5,000 in a week's time, you're going to double it to 10,000 just like that. Now, if everybody out there watching this is being honest with yourselves, how many of you would say, nah, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be a scalper. I'm not going to double my money in a week. How many of you? I was going to get 10. I was going to get 10, but they were limiting us to like 3 at a clip.
It was 3, yeah.
And I couldn't get enough people to buy them.
Glad to see you got one, Roy.
Awesome.
Yes.
So let me see what he says. You got to read it to me, bro, because this is so. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. And I want everybody to get them. But I'm, a lot of and close friends of mine complaining about scalpers.
Next year, again, you got to believe at this point there's going to be one every year. So I would say every March, get ready. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? I'm a capitalist, and there's capitalism and there's socialism. If you are pro, and so I would say this to people that support Trump, if you're pro, everybody should get one at the same price, then you're not a capitalist. That's socialism. Socialism is everybody finishes the same, everybody gets the same. Capitalism is I can make an investment and make money on my investment. So there was a time in life, of course, when I couldn't do that. Now I can. And who knows what the future holds, right? For any of you and me, and you could be in this position next year selling 10 of them and be like, now I see it from a different side of the story, right? So what I'm saying to you is, so I wanted the Snoop Dogg belt, okay? And there's a few people that had them for sale. I'm not going to get into who the seller was and how I got it and what have you, but I'm going to tell you the story. And if the seller wants to say, hey, it was me, they can do that. It doesn't bother me. But I paid to get the Snoop belt, and it was just my OCD driving me crazy. I'm like, I got the 40, got the 41. My OCD was like kicking at me. And I'm like, I'll make an offer. And I offered $4,000, right? So I figured the WrestleMania 41s paid it off for me. I offered $4,000. Seller said yes. I said, okay. And that's it. And so I should have it in a few weeks. And again, the seller wants to say it's me or whatever. That's up to them. I'm not going to out who the seller was. But, the point is, I then wanted something, right? So people wanted something from me. They paid a premium. And then I wanted something I didn't have. And then I paid a premium.
Yeah.
That's capitalism. I didn't begrudge the person selling it to me. Said, that's not fair. That's not what you paid. No, because it has a new value now. I can't get it for the retail price. It was available for the retail price when it was available for the retail price. You understand? I now can't do that. And by the way, if anybody out there is going for WrestleMania, maybe I'll have you pick me up 5 or 6 Goldens. We'll sell them again. But, so the capitalist, how capitalism works is I then wanted something, I paid a premium, I paid a markup, right? When I buy He-Man figures or Masters Universe figures, sometimes I got to pay a premium. People buy Jordan sneakers and they sell them at a premium. Happens all the time. Tickle Me Elmo, man. Back in the 90s, for those old enough to remember, people were spending a premium to get Tickle Me Elmo. This is capitalism. So people say scalper this and scalper that. That's just sour grapes. I pay no mind to that. Go ahead and hate if you want to hate. But me, personally, I'm glad for scalpers. Because there are Masters of the Universe figures that I wanted that I would not have gotten if it wasn't for scalpers. Right? Because they go to 10 stores to find the damn thing. So to get the rare figures, so they can sell it at a higher price. I say good for them. I don't want to go to 10 stores. You find it for me. I'll pay you the price. So the point is, I think scalping is a bullshit word. It's just capitalism. It's an investment. They are investors. They made an investment. They made a return on their investment. They made a profit. And damn it, this is America. I will never begrudge anybody for making a profit ever. And that goes for any of you. And then we'll get into something else later, but I want you to talk, Mike.
No, I agree. It's amazing. This is still going on today. people are still having some fits today.
Today, really?
Yep, about this, and it's like, first of all, this is like since Monday. Like, number one, get over it. But now, you know what? You know what happened last year? They put out one of these. They put out one of these, and guess what happened? When they put this out, I didn't get it because I didn't have the money at the time, and I wasn't sure I wanted it, and I missed out on it. Oh well, you know. And now I know there are people who sell the WrestleMania 41s, not 41s, like not WrestleMania 40 ones out there, and
Let's sell the WrestleMania 40s.
Yes, there you go. And you know,
they want like 2,000 for it, 2,500.
That's just it. That's just the way it is. I've paid. There was stuff that I missed. I mean, I'm not going to turn my thing around, but there's stuff I missed where I have some of my collection stuff up here that I missed, like from 2-3 years ago or something, because for various reasons I didn't get them or I couldn't get them. And then when I was able to get them, guess what? It maybe there's some that was $60 or $70 for retail. I end up paying like 170, 180 for it to get it because I wanted it. And it's like, okay, I have a choice. Either I pay the money and get it, or I don't get it. Nobody.
Well, how about, I mean, you remember me with the Christmas figures, right? So they made Year Without a Santa Claus. Santa Claus is coming to town. Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Plus they had the old A Christmas Story figures, and these figures were like $10 when they came out.
Yeah,
I paid over $40 for each of them. I bought the whole set of all of them. I paid over $1,000 for those action figures. Okay, whereas if I bought them at the time, would have been maybe like $200, $250.
Yeah.
But I wanted them. They were rare because they weren't making them anymore. And so, somebody made the argument to me, well, if you just bought it and then resold it, you didn't do any work. Well, you don't have to do work. You provided a service. I provided a service.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like if I go to a store, that's a weird freaking analogy because okay, let's just hypothetically say I go to a store and I find like a Chase figure, which do exist. A Chase figure of a specific toy, and I buy it, and let's say I paid $25 or $30 for it, and I put it up on eBay for buy it now $50 or $60. Well, that analogy is, well, then I shouldn't gain any profit on that because I didn't put any work in. So because I didn't make the toy, I shouldn't make any profit off of it.
That's like quasi-communist.
That makes no sense whatsoever. So if I again, one of our friends like collects sneakers, and if he buys a pair of the new Air Jordans or whatever, and he pays, let's say, $150 for them or whatever, and they go, they're limited edition, they go up in value immediately. They're like $500. They're going for $500 on eBay. He listed for $400. He shouldn't be able to do that because he didn't put any work in because he didn't make.
I sold
sneakers.
I sold Trump sneakers. I sold whatever sneakers, like, and I made a profit. And I mean, it's the law of the jungle, right? If you can invest, you can make money. That's capital gains. It's like.
No. Wait. I got answers. No. I'm sorry. It's not Coke. It's some real. It's actually the good stuff. Dr. Pepper. Yes.
Dr. Pepper. I can't say nothing about it because my girlfriend loves Dr. Pepper, but that is some potent stuff. It's like antifreeze.
No, it's not.
That's some strong stuff, man.
Not that strong. I'm just saying. But yeah, I don't understand this analogy that you shouldn't. But
and by the way, if anybody disagrees with us that's watching, feel free to disagree.
Yeah, you don't deserve to make a profit on something because you supposedly put no work into making it.
I can't understand that. It's like we made money. My mom and I made money. May she rest in peace. Flipping houses. We didn't put any work into them. We just bought them and then sold them. Right.
You find a rare. I don't know what the values are. 1908 penny or something that is worth like $2,000 or something today and stuff. Well, you shouldn't sell for $2,000. You should sell it for a penny because you didn't put any work in minting that penny in 1908.
Well, and also you take a risk. Also, you take a risk that this belt winds up like the Money in the Bank belt or the Survivor Series belt. Man, what if I bought 5 Survivor Series belts? I'd be
Yeah.
stuck with those now, selling them for a loss.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that belt. Okay. So, or I'd have to hold on to it for a much longer time to sell it. And the Uso belt was available for a long time. People are selling it out for $1,000. I saw it at the time it was on there. I was like, it sucks. Didn't want it. Still don't want it. The Fiend belt, people are selling that for $900, $1,000. I wouldn't take it for free.
I take it.
I would take it for free and sell it, but I wouldn't put it in my collection. I think it's ugly. I wouldn't take the Hardcore belt for free. I wouldn't take the Echo belt for free. But people are selling them at a profit. So this idea that it just seems to apply to the golden title.
And really, it's because they didn't get a chance to get it. By the way, I got news for you. We weren't the I should say, we weren't the only ones that bought more than one. Number one is point number one. Number two, I guarantee you this happened last year with the WrestleMania 40 belt too.
Of course.
Probably saw it. Somebody saw it. So, okay, I could get 3, I could get 5, whatever. Put it in their cart and bought it. So you think,
it was only me and Mike Groves that took the heat.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. Why? Well,
we know why me. I don't know why him.
Well,
but I'll say this. It just seems to me like this crazy idea about, like I said, if you invest money in the stock market, right? You don't do any work. You just put money in a company that exists. You did nothing for that, but you're taking a risk. I took a risk with this, right? And you take a risk with anything, like when you make an investment. So it could have flopped, right? Also, there's scarcity and value versus perceived value, right? Today I saw this week I saw a Royal Rumble belt, which was only available at the event. I saw somebody selling it for like $1,050. And I saw somebody selling a Saudi Arabia belt, which was only available at the event halfway around the world. Okay? For $1,050. Now, those belts are both rarer than this Vegas gold belt. I guarantee there's less of those made because they were only event-only belts. Okay? So I would feel very comfortable saying they were more rare. But it's the perceived value. For whatever reason, the gold belt is perceived to be more valuable, so it sells for a higher premium. That's the way the world works. It's not the way, and you see the price is actually coming down now a little bit. So,
yes.
Yeah. Well, and the buyer makes the rules too, because if the buyer doesn't buy for that price, right?
Yeah.
He won't sell for the price. So I see people saying, don't buy from them. This is how you stop it. Well, if you want it, you're going to come to look. I'll hold on to it for 2 years. I'll sell it for $4,000. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
How far you want to go?
And here's the thing. I know I've seen some people said, well, just wait because there will be more. There'll be more.
There will be.
Technically, yes. If you go into WrestleMania,
yeah,
well, you'll have the opportunity to get some more. Yeah.
Or if you have a friend that's going there.
Yeah, because they definitely held some back for that.
And there's going to be some. I know Fanatics. My Fanatics guy told me there's going to be some signs that the people that have Fanatics representatives, will be able to get.
Yeah.
Some signed ones, and I'll probably get a signed one. Almost guaranteed I'll get a signed one. But again, value versus perceived value. It's value versus perceived value. So something's only as valuable as what you can sell it for. And am I supposed to? Somebody says, "I'll give you $2,000 for that." Nah, man, nah. Who's going to do that?
Yeah, really, yeah.
And I've done that, Mike. You know that I've given belts away for free.
Oh yeah,
I've given toys.
Yeah, you just did last week.
Yeah, I've given toys away for free.
Yeah.
But I had a specific plan with this. I wanted to parlay it, make money, and then buy something I wanted. And I decided that the Snoop Dogg was something I wanted, so that became the belt. But yeah, is what it is. It is what it is.
And I'm sorry if some people are butthurt over that. I don't know what to say to you.
I make no apologies for it at all. No. Zero.
Here's the thing. We, and by we I mean you mostly, took the time to find out when the belt was coming out.
Well, again, don't forget, me and you every day were there. Every day before we knew.
But then you went and you put the extra effort in to get some information about when it was actually coming out,
Correct.
stuff. So you were ready to go. There was really nothing stopping other people from doing so.
Well, they would have to have somebody on the inside, but
True.
they could have went there every day. We didn't know we were going to get that information, right? We tried, but we didn't know we were going to get it. And
But we did. But again, that's based upon the work, some of the work that you did.
yeah, but before that, we were there every day checking, and we would have been there every day checking. They could have done the same thing. Had we not gotten that information, we would have still been there every day checking.
And here's the thing: it's not like nobody knew this was coming because it was shown already multiple times on WWE television in the lead up to the actual drop. So it was there.
And the thing is, I think value of the gold belt will come down to once they start releasing them every year, and you get 3, 4, 5 years worth of them.
Well, yeah, that too. Plus, again, I've noticed the pattern of like the Snoop Dogg belt. I think was only like 25 or 30. The
39.
Yeah, there you go, 39. The WrestleMania 40 belt was only 50. This was 750. I bet you next year WrestleMania 42 will be at least 1,000.
Maybe 1,500. Who knows?
Something, yeah, and they'll just keep increasing it.
And the more they increase it, the more the value will come down.
Exactly.
Not of these. The Snoop Dogg will still be worth what it's worth. The 40 will still be worth what it's worth. This one will still be worth what it's worth. But every year the value. So like, I remember what I said to you. I said, Mike, if there's 1,000 of these, I'm not buying 5.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was like, it won't be as valuable. So if there's 1,500 next year, I'll buy one. You know?
And even at this point, unless I look at it, I'm like, unless we see it ahead of time on TV or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, this is gorgeous. I absolutely need this. I probably won't even be interested because I just really wanted like one of them. One of these golden titles to say I have one of these golden WrestleMania titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful. I mean, if you look at the the cubics here, I mean, this is gorgeous. They're gorgeous. And last year had the same kind of feel. Like I said, this one is the strap is printed. It's got a little texture to it though.
There's a little raised.
Yeah, it's raised on the back. I'm feeling that right now. It's definitely raised. And then last year's, I think also had the cubics, right?
Yep.
And it's just gorgeous. But then you see like that's all imprinted. This is all textured on the strap. So you see like that's all raised. And so it's really just beautiful. What do you say? I didn't see it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to. Oh, yeah.
I just, because there's other things that we haven't talked about that really, gets aggravated. Like there were actually death threats made.
Oh,
wishes of actual death and like disease, and and stuff. And I'm like, what do people do? I'm thinking so like
they're socialists.
No, but I mean, there's always been again. What these were you the people that like would have killed somebody like for Tickle Me Elmo in the 90s?
Maybe.
Or Pokemon cards now, I guess, are big or something again, and people are fighting each other. And so, I mean, is that the kind of
socialists gonna socialist, bro? Like, I said what I said to that person today. I'm not gonna say who it was. You and I were on the phone together, and I said, well, I was raised in the inner city, right? I was poor. And so at what number did I become evil? Right? Yeah. At what number? At what number of your salary do you become evil? We have friends that make high 6 figures. Are they evil? Right? At what number do we become evil?
Well, here's the question. I have no problem saying this. I make significantly less than you do. I make a comfortable living, but I do make significantly less than you do. But am I now evil because I bought one of these?
No, you're just lame.
Oh, that's right. I'm lame. That's right. I'm sorry. The lame. It's the lamest spell. Yeah. Lame.
But it just seems like socialism. I always ask this question because the whole pay your fair share thing, and I always, well, what's that number? What number is my fair share? You want it all? What number is my fair share? Yeah. And the truth is, it's like when people say about pay your fair share and the rich have to pay more taxes and all that stuff. They're not worried about the economy. They're not worried about the deficit. They just want you punished. They want you to pay more as a punishment for your success because they're pissed off that you have it and they don't. And
Oh, don't worry. I am not
I would
apologizing.
never would. Thank you, Jim.
I'm not apologizing for owning this thing on my show. No, I
But 90% of the time, when people say pay your fair share, they want it as a punishment. It's punitive. And so, when I was a kid, I was a Republican when I was a kid, and I saw rich people, and I didn't have shit, and I never ever looked at them like those bastards. I looked at them and said, I want to be that. I want to do that. I want to get to that point
goal to
someday.
strive towards, rather than say, why aren't you giving me more of what you got?
Yeah, I don't want what you have. I want to get to where you are. And I don't look at Elon Musk with jealousy. I look at him with like, wow, man, look what this guy did.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome, right? I don't look at Jeff Bezos that way. I don't look at anybody that way. I think good for you. Make it. You're a billionaire. You get $500 billion. Great. That's great. I'll never get there. You know what I'm saying? I'll never get there. I'll never even sniff anywhere close to that. Because that's realistic, right? I'm not going to invent. So you have to invent something that changes the world to get to, you know what I mean?
Not necessarily. You could spill hot coffee on yourself that you got from a restaurant.
You know what? That woman was smeared by McDonald's. Don't tell that. All she wanted was her medical bills paid, and they wouldn't do it. And it was scalding hot. It was way hotter than it was supposed to be. So there's actually a lot to that story. But the propaganda machine of McDonald's,
that happened recently with somebody else again too.
The propaganda machine of McDonald's really ran that woman through the coals. It was a big concerted effort, a propaganda machine by McDonald's to destroy that woman.
Yeah.
Which I learned about a few years ago. I didn't know it either. We all make that, but you're not going to get billions from that. People that make hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, you got to be, a famous actor or actress or a celebrity or, like to get to that level, you got to invent something. So, but I don't look at those people with jealousy. I'm like, man, that's awesome. Look what they did. That's fucking awesome. And so anyway, that's like, because these are just things at the end of the day. They're just things. And that was the thing that bothered me the most. I think is people were like, acting like it was a need, like they needed to have the gold. No, you didn't need it. It's a thing. Also, by the way,
Delisi, how are you tonight, sir?
Hey, Robert. How you doing, man? By the way, if you have enough money to spend $845 on a replica belt, even at retail, you're not poor. You're not broke. That's a first world problem, my friends. And if you were to go to people and say even that you spent retail on it, and you were going to a lot of the people in this world, they'd be like, you're a rich son of a bitch. Okay, now you may not consider yourself rich, but compared to most of the world, you could drop $845 on a belt. You got a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're making a good living. So don't be pissed at other people. That's all I'm saying. Like, don't be pissed at other people. Because you would have did it too if you could have. Most of you. Maybe there's a rare case out there, but 99% of you, 98% of you would have done the same damn thing.
Well, my thing is this: why weren't they flipping out about the people who were selling the Snoop Dogg belt for like $3-4 grand? Why aren't they flipping out about people who sell the WrestleMania 40 belt for $2-3 grand? Why is that okay? But this specific one, you can't sell for any kind of markup at all.
Well, that was the thing I noticed. It's like just this specific belt.
Mm-hmm. Nothing else. Just this specific one. There was
any other belt. Somebody who has the rated R spinner right now. If you complained about us,
but something similar, yeah,
and you have the rated R spinner, sell it to me for retail right now.
Yeah. Yeah, really. If you're that high and mighty on the whole, don't want to scalp people, don't want to make a profit off of people doing this for the love of the hobby, then okay, yeah. But you won't, because it's stupid, and we know it's stupid, and that's fine. It would be stupid. We agree.
Of course, it's stupid.
Yeah, we agree. So I don't know what to tell these people. Over time they'll go away and they'll be on to something else, and and all that kind of crap. But I mean, I don't know what to say. I ain't apologizing for buying this sumbitch. I'm not apologizing for buying the ones he did or making a profit off it. Deal with it. I mean, what do you want? Yeah, like Robert says here, it's the absolute truth. It was marked up through the roof. It's still through the roof. And that's life. Nobody's forcing you to buy it for that price.
Which one did he say was marked up through the roof?
The Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, sure. And guess what? I wanted it, so I paid the price.
Exactly. You don't have to pay the price. Again, there's nobody, unless you could produce a signed contract that said your life is forfeit. Unless you pay that price, you're not required to.
Yeah, and the thing is like, there was a guy I called out, right? That I was like, dude, here's you selling Funko Pops for way more than the retail value. So, like, what are you bitching about? Because you got rare Funko Pops and you wanted to sell them for a profit, but that was okay because it was you.
Yeah.
And so,
at this point, Vinny, I don't think it's ever happening. By the way, we're waiting like 3 years for that now.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah, 3 years this summer, I think it is, since that was supposed to come out.
I don't think that's happening. They seem to be going away from the old ones. But anyway, so my point is, if you have a rated R belt and you bitched this week about people scalping, but you've been looking to sell your rated R for $2,000, I implore you to sell it immediately for $500 to somebody who will give it to you, because that was the retail.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't believe in profits, right? You're a person of principle. I'll tell you the truth, Mike, and part of me thinks that there wouldn't have been this big fuss over it if it wasn't me as one of the people. By the way, this is the first time I ever bought a belt to flip it, ever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I would be willing to bet money on that. That if it was somebody else, or
if I didn't do it,
I got Fordham in the mail. Oh, good for you, man. I might be interested. That's what you'd see. Carmine did it. That son of a bitch. He must burn in hell forever.
Remember I told you, I said if there's 50, I'm getting all of them.
Yep.
If you want one, you got to get it from me.
And by the way, again, 750 of these things this year, only 50 of them last year, but people bought multiples of that and sold them for a cost are okay. But somehow the one that there's more of made, you can't buy multiples of that. But you
I haven't watched any other
the one that was less.
And I haven't watched any other podcasts to know what they think of it. I know there's a few other podcasts that I'm sure it's been talked about. I don't know what anybody else thinks about it. I would be interested to hear those perspectives, and I'll probably get around to watching some of them just to see what other perspectives other people have. Because I am curious about it, because the people that are saying like that it's wrong to do this, I really want to understand. I really want to understand the thought process there, because I don't get it.
Let me ask you people this. I'm going to go because now I'm getting aggravated here. So WWE, and I guess is it Topps, I think, have been putting out these WWE cards now, and they have rare like rare chase cards in there, like a lot of like autograph cards, or what a piece of ring used, this or that, and stuff in there, and all that kind of shit. So, which is nothing uncommon for the card market. It's been doing that since I can remember. But suppose, and a lot of these are like one of one. There's only one of these cards available. Suppose somebody today gets their pack or gets a box, or let's just say just buys a pack, just buys one pack. However much they cost. I don't know how much a pack of cards cost now. I'll just say $4, right? But suppose they get that and they open it up, and there's a one of one Roman Reigns autograph card in there.
Is that a one of one?
Yeah, a lot of them are one of one. Yeah, I've seen like the thing, and gets that and puts it up on eBay for $500. Now, is that person a piece of crap because they only paid $3 for the pack of cards? Should they have only put it up for $3?
Not even. I'm
just saying,
they have to put it up for just however many cents it is if you break that pack of cards up into singles, right? So if there's 10 cards in a pack, you got to sell it for 30 cents.
Well, and again, Vinny, here's the thing. Again, they know what they're doing here. They know they're creating a buzz about this, and
if they released 3,000, it wouldn't have any value.
Exactly.
And you probably wouldn't want it, and they'd be stuck with them.
They'd be sitting on right now.
They got to look at it that way too, right? They also, so I don't say shame on them, and you could call it scalping, or you can actually call it whatever you want to call it, but it's just investing. It's the same It's the same as investing in the stock market. Same thing. So when you say they should have made 3,000, maybe they wouldn't have sold 3,000. There's a Survivor Series belt still sitting there, right? So part of the way they make money is by creating FOMO, fear of missing out. That's part of the way they make money, and that's all part of it, right? Like I knew I could have. There was a time we were making the BAM coins, right? And you remember we made the what was the one we made like 10 of? The Money Inc.
The Money Inc. tag, yeah. I remember that.
The Money Inc. tag. We made 10. And that some bitch was selling for like we sold it for $50. We only made 10. That thing was selling for like $200-$300 on the in the groups. And I was like, wow. But it was a rarity. And so I'd be curious to know the people that sold that for $200-$300, that $50 coin, were they people that were complaining here, right? So the reason I only made X amount of those 10, the reason I made 10 of those was because I didn't know it would sell. So I was like, I told the guy, well, just make 10 this way. And so we just made 10 that way. And it was just a minor tweak. But I was like, I don't know if it'll sell. I don't know if people will want the black paint. So I didn't want to take a huge risk. And so that's the thing. I could have made 500 of them. And they'd be still sitting in my closet. You know, they would have had no value and people wouldn't have rushed to buy them. If there was 3,000 of these made, you can get them on the shop tonight.
Oh, yeah. It'd still be there.
And everybody wants some value. If you're one of the people that got the gold belt, you want it to have some value. Right? So I think 750 was a fair number. I think it was a fair number. 750 is plenty.
And again, you will still have the opportunity to get it if, you're going to WrestleMania.
Yeah. Or you have a friend that's going there.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the Royal Rumble. I got the Rowan belt because my friend went there. So yeah, I don't know. We have a friend, right? We have a friend who was like, after he didn't get the belt, right? He's like, damn, I missed out on it. I should have got it. And we told him, get the belt. We knew when it was coming out. I would have got him one and just sold it. He's like, no, he didn't want it. He didn't say, well, Carm, one of the ones you're going to sell for a profit, sell it to me for the regular price. He didn't ask me that because he knew why I bought it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's one of my best friends. So, and if I happen to know somebody who's going to WrestleMania, I might ask to get it for him. But yeah, so I mean, just stop complaining. It's a belt. It's a belt. You don't need it. They're cool to have, and we love having them, right? But you don't need it. And so, scalping is, like I said, it's a weird word, and you got to use that in every single hobby. Coin collecting, stamp collecting, sneakerheads, action figure collectors. You name a hobby where this doesn't happen. Name one singular hobby on this planet where this doesn't happen. You can't. Maybe seashell collecting. I don't know if there's a market for seashells, but
that probably is. That's the sad part.
Probably. But I mean, this is every hobby in the world. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get mad about it. So anyway, I guess that's about it, right?
Yeah. No. What did I say to you beforehand? I said, if I get one, great, because I'd like to have one of these golden titles. But if I don't, I miss out. My life goes on.
Yeah.
Oh well. No, there's always next year.
I got a lot of rare belts, but I don't have every rare belt. There's a lot of rare belts I'm missing.
Yeah.
But I don't want them. Like if I wanted the rated R, I'd have the rated R. You know what I mean? I sold it twice because I didn't like it. I certainly ain't gonna pay $2,000 to not like it.
I hear you. Yep.
So is what it is.
All right, sir. I know you got some things to do. So do I.
Yes, sir.
So by all means, if you want to continue to hate us, go ahead. That's your business, and that's taking space in your head. That's not space in ours.
Now that I know that it's this big of a deal, though, the next time a rare belt comes out, I'll get 10. You're gonna hate me. I might as well make extra.
Well, again, you have till next year to prepare for next March, right? WrestleMania.
There'll be other rare belts between now and then.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What, these pay-per-view ones? That some hit, some don't.
That's the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know.
You know, we got 42 more Cena Bell spinners coming. You know, 40 years old.
Those are going to lose value big time, man.
They already are. I mean, to a certain degree. Look how long the UK one sat there for like 3
And the
days.
Los Angeles one, I just saw it sell today for like 800 and something. So like
It's already going.
that was the Los Angeles was the first one, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that was like 2000 the first week it came out. So
Ultimately, if you want a John Cena farewell spinner,
you'll be able to
you
get
will
one.
have the opportunity to get one of them somewhere. Yeah, because they're not. Yeah,
Because again, it's the same damn plates on different straps. It's the same plates. Even the golden title. Last
Yep.
year's plates are the same as this year's plates, except for the side plates.
Yep.
You know, so all right, my friend.
All right. So that's it. It was nice seeing you all tonight.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely nice seeing you guys.
you know, may the force be with you or whatever. And you know, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Why not? I don't
We love you guys. God bless you.
know. Yes.
Take care, everybody.